Are you stupid or something? You probably are, and buddy, that's alright. You're in the right place to learn some stuff, so stick around and you just might. My name is Notme, and I'll be asking some Q's, and at the end you'll be riddled with A's. You might score real high, but even if not, you'll sure be glad you played. If you're looking for prizes, just move along, there's no money for you to earn. You win by trying and doing your best, your prize is the stuff you learn. If you want to be an artiste, you have to know all you can about the world of art. So engage with this quiz, and at the end you'll say, I am smart.
I am not me. I am art. There we go. And I am your host for I Am Smart, the quiz where people compete for the right to say, very simply, I am smart. By engaging with this quiz, you're accepting that you don't know everything, and that's absolutely fine. Nobody does. For instance, who invented Halloween? I don't know. If you're anything like me, you don't know everything because you spend less time thinking, more time feeling. For instance, I feel like the Halloween thing is one of those, it's just always been there kinds of things. Like God or crocodiles. I mean, maybe not, sure. But it's what I feel, so I can't be wrong. The format of the quiz is very simple, very straightforward. 5 rounds, 5 questions, 5 musings, 30 points overall. All you're going to need for this quiz, something to write with, something to write on. You're also going to need a brain for thinking and an imaginosphere for creating. They will both be tested in this quiz. Optional is a beverage for toasting. I've got this lovely kind of thermos flask type thing. Not entirely full of water because I do drink it throughout the day. But we always like to start with a little toast. Brings the group together before our mental exertions. I hope you all have your beverages at the ready so that you can join me in this toast, a little collective activity to join us all together. Here we go. To me, to you, to shoe. Leave it to the French to name a delicious pastry after cabbage. Am I right? Classic French. I don't know what that means. Cheers. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Gosh, I was having trouble setting everything up. It's like, gosh, I haven't done this in pretty much yonks and yonks. But we got there in the end. And we're all here and we're all accounted for. We're all having a great time. How are we all doing? Tuesday quiz, hype. I'm glad you're hype. Nana Hobbob. I'm hype as well. We're mixing it up, seeing what things are like on a Tuesday, seeing if more people are available on a Tuesday, if people are more receptive to being quizzed on a Tuesday than on a Thursday. Who knows? Maybe we'll go back to Thursday. Maybe we'll move to Monday. I don't think we'll go Friday because, you just want to chill out on Fridays, don't you? But yeah, it's all still up in the air. So if you like it on Tuesdays, let me know you like it on Tuesdays, yeah? The best prize of all. That's wonderful. Nana Hobbob, or the Egyptian crocodile god. Absolutely, fuses the two. He was way back when, yeah? And then the Egyptian, Game Boy god came along, and the crocodile god was like, I've been here a lot longer than you have, okay? Because you're based on recent technology. Killer Kilch says, cheers with the Smarties. Absolutely. Hello, Smarties. It feels wonderful to say that once again. Cheers to Pterodactyl. Cheers to TB Douglas. Woot to your girl, Sarah Kilch. We're all here. We're all ready to be tested. And we're all ready to learn. Although we have been learning already. I hope you all enjoyed learning about Gothic horror in that countdown. It is a genre that was once described as any book where the cover could conceivably be a woman in a nightdress running away from a castle at night holding a candelabra. And any genre that can be defined by the cover of a book is all right by me. Many thanks as ever to Wikipedia for providing that information. How did you, just quickly before we all get started, how did you all enjoy the interlude-episodes? I know Killer Kilch told me that they had done one and did very well at one, so well done Killer Kilch. But did anyone else watch them on YouTube or the Facebook whilst we were separated? I hope so. They did take me a lot longer than I thought they would, so if nobody did watch them, would be a real shame. It's Halloween, guys, in a few days. It's Halloween. It's the 27th today, so it's Halloween in a few days. Very exciting. So to celebrate, we're going all in for the spookiness on this quiz. Every single round will have some association with the season. So I hope you don't get too scared. Or me. I won't get too scared. I'm pretty good with I hope other people don't get too scared. I'm pretty hardy. I was once in a lift with a homeless person. So I think I can handle fear. Let's get on with the first round, shall we? Should we get on with the first round? But what is the first round? You all know. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? In order to be a great artiste, you must discern the lies from the truth. Yeah? 5 statements. But do you believe them? If you do, you write yay. If you don't, you write nay. This round is all about the horror of different kinds, yeah? Music, movies, TV, paintings, books. So nobody can whine that I haven't focused on their particular favourite medium. All of these questions are, of course, 50-50, so you've got a 1 in 32 chance of getting them all right without even trying. Gosh, this just feels good, doesn't it? It just feels good. It feels good to get back in on the quizzing. Let's go for statement number 1. Here we go. The indelible, iconic, terrifying score to the movie Halloween was composed by the film's own director. Do you believe that, or do you not believe that? Is that a yay, or is that a nay? I mean, he's directing the film. Did he compose the music as well? Did he compose the music as well? I feel like I could be a little bit... Yeah, that's a little cooler. And then a little bit more of this. Yeah, that's a bit better. Looking a bit cooler there. So that's statement 1. Statement number 2, moving straight on. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Count is ultimately slain. Spoiler alert, but the book has been out for at least 25 years, so you should have read it by now. Ultimately slain by Abraham Van Helsing. Abraham Van Helsing. Yeah, sometimes I just lean all the way back here. Abraham Van Helsing. Did he kill Dracula? I mean, that's the question, ultimately. Do you believe that? Yay or nay? Statement number 3. The painting The Nightmare by Henry Fuseli, one of my favourite types of pasta, depicts a demon sitting on a woman's head. Is that right? Is that true? Or is that false? Is that a yay or is that a nay? Statement number 4, moving straight on. Ain't waiting for none of yous. American Horror Story, the TV show, was created by the same 2 people who created the musical television show Glee. Surely that can't be right. Or is it? Glee, there's all colours and romance and melodrama, versus American Horror Story, which is all about, scary stuff. Same people? You kidding me? You kidding me with this? Maybe I just made it all up. Final statement here. For the first round, yay or nay. The first horror film to be nominated for Best Picture was The Wicker Man in 1973. Very scary film. Given a very scary remake in the 2000s at some point with Nicolas Cage. That one, I don't know for definite, but I do not think that one was nominated for Best Picture. You might have to look that up, but I don't think it was nominated for Best Picture. And there we go. Is that the end of the round? Of course not. We have 5 questions in the round. We've had them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we need a musing. We need that musing. Definitely not Tudor. Bees, absolutely. A lot of bees in that. Wicker Man remake. The bees. Oh no. What's the musing? What irrational fear of yours would make a terrible horror story? We've all got irrational fears. We've all got things that we just don't like. They just give us the heebie-jeebies for no real reason. Which one of yours would make a terrible horror story? Because some of them would be great. Some of them would be great. Maybe let's not say a terrible horror story. Maybe let's say difficult to make amazing horror story. And with that, the first round's done. The first round's done at 19 past. Gosh, we're doing well, guys. We're doing well. Shall we go for round 2? But what is round 2? It's the rando round. You just don't know what it's going to be yet, do you? I'll put you out of your misery like a good horror villain. Hello, women. Hello, women. Hello, women. I was struggling how I was going to spell that. Hello, women. Hello, women. I think that was fine. I think that's fine. I think you get the point of what I'm trying to make. It's a combination of Halloween and women. But what reason could there possibly be to combine Halloween and women? Well, traditionally speaking, in the cinema that we have, the antagonists, the big bads of horror films are men, chaps, gentlemen. Male in some way. But of course, come Halloween, ladies like to dress up as well. And so what some industrious Halloween costume companies have done is taken male antagonists from horror films. Nana Hobbob says blokes. Absolutely. A lot of them blokes, if you want to get a bit working class with it. They're just a bunch of blokes. Bunch of bloody blokes. If the ladies want to dress up like blokes, then they can wear these ladyfied, if I can use that word, versions of classic horror film antagonists. So what we have is 5 photos of purchasable horror Halloween outfits for ladies, and all I need from you for each one of these is who the bloody blokes, says TB, absolutely. All I need from you is which male antagonist, which male horror icon, character's name, these ladyfied outfits are of. You're going to get it as we go along. Let's go for number 1. Who's that? Now, there are elements of this that you're going to need to pay attention to, and elements of this that you need to omit, because there are certain aspects of these costumes that do not marry up with the actual horror icon outfits that these bloody blokes wear in the films. I'm not going to tell you which one's which here. I'm not going to tell you which you should be looking at carefully and which you should be dismissing. That's up to you. That's part of the quiz, okay? She's having a great time there. Number 2. Who's she dressed as? Who is she dressed as? With her collarbones out. Movie or name? That's a great question, Killer Kilch. We're looking for the name of the character here, not the name of the film, because those aren't always the same thing. We're looking for the name of the character. Yeah? Who is that supposed to be? Who is that supposed to be? Okay? Some of these are tricky, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. Number 3. Who's that? With the big boots. Big boots and a white hair. Are they the key part in it? Or is it the bodysuit? or some combination therein. Really, could be anything here, guys. Could be anything here. Who's she dressed up as? Which character? What's the character name? 6 Shoes as Annika Ryan. Absolutely. You could give someone a real good kicking. Real good kicking. And, you know, looking at those from a practical sense, you could walk through some pretty deep puddles before you had to worry about seepage. Lady number 4, or Hallow Woman number 4. Who's that? Who's she dressed as? It's tricky, guys. It's tricky. Gosh. Gosh, I'm not making it easy on you. The intellectual rigor here, pretty high. And then the final one, number 5. Who she be? Yeah? She be someone. But who she be? A lot of sass in that angle. Is that a clue? Is she portraying a particularly sassy horror icon? That's number 5. And then the musing for round number 2. If money and time were no object, what would you dress up as for Halloween? Because a lot of the time when you get your invites, as I've been invited to, you know, over the course of my life, I mean, probably getting on for 4 Halloween parties. And there's always, I felt, you know, I would dress up as, but I don't have the time. Oh, this would be a great costume, but it's like 150 quid. I'm like, no way. But if money and time were no object, like this is your job for a month running up to the thing, and you can buy, or you can make, you can do whatever you want. You can employ. I mean, money is no object here. You can, you know, employ a Hollywood costume team, a costumier, if that's the right word for them. I believe it is. Pterodactyl, great picks. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Pterodactyl. I try. You want round 3? Yeah, you do. Look at you. Look at you. You can't wait for it. You don't need to. Is it lagging for anyone else? Sorry to bother, just can't figure out if it's on my end. Anna Karine says not lagging for moi. Anna Karine says not lagging for moi. Apologies. I am definitely not due, not for us either. Looks like it might be a case, an issue just for you, Pterodactyl. I do apologise. I am, let's have a little double check. I am on the Ethernet. It says it's connected and in good standing. So I'm doing everything that I can. Dropped frames, 0. Technically, I am killing it right now. Halloween. As an artiste, you have to be able to keep your eyes open, yeah? Because there's inspiration flying at you at all times. How are you going to feel? How are you going to feel if a spellbinding idea just passed you by and you didn't even realise because you were too busy daydreaming about how good Raul Julia is in Adam's Family? Really annoyed. That's how. So I'm about to show you some incredible art, one of my past videos from a past Halloween. And when I do, I want you to look close, yeah? Because there's going to be questions on it afterwards. You're ready? You're ready for this? Wait. Yeah, you're ready. You're ready for this. And art. Hey guys, Notme here. Happy Halloween. I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting with bated breath to find out what I decided to dress up as this year for Halloween. I'm sure a lot of you will remember that last year I came as everything that's wrong with society. It was a very powerful costume, one that was entirely homemade. This year I decided to change things up slightly. As you know, I'm a big fan of subverting expectations.
Expectations subverted.
And how I'm subverting expectations this year is, rather than focusing on what's wrong with the world, I'm focusing on what the world needs in order to improve, namely me. And not just me, I don't want to, people like me, creators, outside the box thinkers, Renaissance men. So that's what I decided to dress up as for Halloween, a Renaissance man, much in the way of Leonardo da Vinci or Jamie Cullum. The other way that I decided to subvert expectations is, rather than going homemade, I went store-bought. Boom, weren't expecting that, were you? So I logged on to Amazon and I found a Renaissance man outfit, pretty cool, with like a kind of a beret type situation and frilly sleeves, and I ordered it. I think it's clear to me now that I must have clicked a wrong button somewhere. I believe I am dressed as a Renaissance woman, but that's actually fine for me because I don't really see gender. It's much like race or sexuality. It's all just, part of the melting pot. So I'm fine with this. I'm fine with it. I think I've worn it for long enough though, so I will take it off. There we go. There we go. How very progressive of Not Me there. That's in 2017 as well, so it's before it was all really, super duper popular. Gorgeous. Thank you, Killer Kilch. That's not why I did it, but I'm excited that you think that. Question number 1. Whilst it's still fresh, guys, come on, let's move it. What is in Not Me's mouth in his costume from 2016? So that would be the year before this video. The year before. Pterodactyl, the neckline suits you. Again, I have been described in the past as having a waif-like neck and, upper chest. Up until the age of, 12 or 13, very, very slim. Very, very slim. I kind of look like Natalie Portman in Black Swan. That's probably the closest that I can to make you understand. Bit of triv. Question number 2. What does Not Me make mention of subverting in the video? Now, long-time fans, this will be pretty easy because this is the thing that I probably, on reflection, subvert the most. What do I always subvert? What am I constantly subverting, quite frankly? Question number 3. Name either of the Renaissance men that Not Me cites. He cites 2 of them. I don't need both of them. You can give me both of them, but I don't need both of them. Just need one. This one or this one. Q4. What type of hat did Not Me's intended costume come with? These are tricky. These questions. Just fleeting bits of information. You've really got to be... yeah. Do I need that? Probably not. And then question number 5. Not Me claims to not see, at the end, 3 concepts. Name 2 of them. You can either name these two, or these 2. That's tricky, actually. He doesn't see 3 concepts. I don't need all three. Just give me those two. Your favourite two. And then amusing. What's the best store-bought costume that you've ever purchased? What's the best store-bought costume that you have ever purchased? I'm sure you've made some crackers. You're all a bunch of creative types. The fact that you're watching this show is proof enough of that. But store-bought. What's the best one you've had? And I will accept online store-bought. So obviously in the video it's from Amazon. So that would count. Bang, you want a fourth round? You want a fourth round? You're not done with three? Gosh. So demanding, guys. But I got you. RT Spotlight. Game recognizes game, you guys. The game recognizes the game. As an artiste, you have to be willing to shine a light on the work of other artists and be nice about it. Simple as that. Because that way, if they want to be polite, they have to say nice stuff about your art as well. Reciprocation, circle of life. And this week, the spotlight in question falls upon the most handsome man in horror, Stephen King. Stevie King, author of so many people's nightmares. How much do we know about him, though? How much do we know about him? Well, we're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out. Question number 1 about Stevie King. Stephen King sets many of his stories in his home state. Which state is it? I would say that, you know, in any other circumstance, I would need to explain that this is, you know, US state, United States state. One of the 50 states. But obviously at this time, you know, the only people that are awake are American people, so it's easy. Although you could be watching in the future on YouTube, and if you are watching in the future on YouTube, hi. How you doing? Anna Carine, Puerto Rico. Are they before or after? They could be before. I mean, it's still plus Puerto Rico, Guam. It could be. Bear in mind that this is the state that he was, you know, born in, grew up in. If you think that Stephen King has the look of a native Puerto Rican or Guami brat, then you feel free to put that in. Feel free to put that in. That's absolutely fine. But if you are watching on YouTube in the future, hi, how you doing? Thanks for watching. Appreciate that. There's so many other videos for you to watch to be in your shoes. Just give it a like. Doesn't cost you anything. Takes less than a second. Just click that thing. I'd appreciate it. If you want to write a comment and say how much you enjoyed it, say what you got in the end, feel free as well. That'd be great. Cheers. Thanks. Question number 2. Within 10, so 5 up or 5 down, how many novels has Stephen King published? How many novels has Stephen King published within 10? So if he's written 5, if you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, or 0, then that would count, okay? Just so we get the parameters. American Samoa, so not Samoa, Guamite. Isn't that an explosive? I don't know, maybe. I'll take your word for it now, Hobbob, that's fine. Anna Carine, technically an unincorporated territory, but should be counted. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you're part of the country, guys, then let's have a little bit, you know, you should be able to have representation in all matters. it's almost like they're saying, well, you get the nice weather. So we'll have democratic representation. You have the nice weather. We'll call it even. Yeah. Don't think it works like that. Yeah. Ask Lin-Manuel Miranda whether it works like that. Gosh, didn't want to get onto a whole Puerto Rico thing there, but you guys, you set me off, and I respect that. Question number 3. Which of these simplistic descriptions fits none of Stephen King's novels? Scary dog, scary car, scary TV. It's just a simplistic thing. But either scary dog, scary car, scary TV. Now, 2 of these are going to fit. 2 of these he has written a story, he's written a novel about. 1 of them he hasn't. To the best of my knowledge. Realizing now there could be some room for people to dissent to this one, but fingers crossed we'll get the right answer and we can just move on. Killer Kilch, sidebar, have you voted? If you can, obs. I have not voted. I'm not able to vote. I'm not a citizen of these United States, still a citizen in the UK. I would advise you to vote, and let me tell you why. I would say vote because if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. And complaining, I think, for me, is a real key part of the democratic process. Having a whinge afterwards if things don't go your way, because you could say, dude, well, I voted, okay? I've done my bit, and you're still messing things up, Mr. Government. And if you're not sure who to vote for, just look around on Facebook, or ask your friends and family. Just go with the largest group. Go with the largest group for me. So that if you're not putting your head above the parapet, you're not going to get shot. Do you know what I mean? It's just about making it easy for you. Just vote for someone. I mean, Q4. Stephen King has written 3 books that are over 1,000 pages long in their published forms. Just name one of them. Just one of them. That's all you need. Name one of them. 1,000 pages is a long. That's a long book. That's a long book. He's done it thrice. Not once, not twice, but thrice. That's something to be respected. I mean, it shouldn't be held in as high esteem as if the books are good. But even if you read a really bad book, I think, and you think, well, at least it was really long. I've got to give them credit for that. They really kept it going. One man's opinion. And then question number 5. How much does it cost for a student filmmaker to buy the right to film a non-commercial adaptation of one of Stephen King's short stories? So he's written a lot of short stories as well. And if you're a student filmmaker, you say, I want to adapt one of your short stories, Stephen King. I'm not going to try and get distribution for it. I'm not going to try and sell it. I just want to do it just to show people that I can, make a real cracking film. Can I do that? Stephen King says, yeah, sure. And then they say, how much do I owe you? And Stephen King says, the answer to question 5. Just a little scenario that I cooked up there that pretty accurately describes what I'm talking about here. How much does it cost? And then the musing, Stephen King musing, $6.42. Gosh, I've rambled. Probably the voting thing. I'm going to blame you a little bit on that, Killer Kilch. Musing. You win a contest to tell Stephen King to write a scary story about anything. What do you tell him to write about? Now, you can go 2 angles with this. 1, I think this would be a really good subject for a scary book. Number 2, I mean, it kind of relates maybe back to the irrational fears that we had before. What would be a terrible idea? What would be an idea that you'd have to be the master of horror, the king of horror, to get a good book out of? Write a story about that, Stevie. Let's see what you've got, baby. It's a weird contest, but, you know, it might happen. There we go. Anything you want. Anything you want. You say, Steve, write it about this battery. And he's got to write it about a battery and probably make it scary. That's what people are expecting. One final round. Let's do it. You'll know what it is. You've all been looking forward to it for a month. Let's just get on with it, guys. Nart. I wouldn't have enjoyed Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde anywhere near as much had Robert Louis Stevenson not been so knowledgeable about alcoholism. Scottish. Makes sense. Artists need to know about the world around them, not just art. And so I present this round about not art. Nart. Nart. But what is this particular Nart round about? Not that button. That button. It is, of course, jack-o'-lanterns. Jack-o'-lanterns. Everybody loves them. They're all over the place at the moment, carving pumpkins and such. Let's learn about them. Let's find out how much you know about them. Question 1. From which country do jack-o'-lanterns originate? From which country do jack-o'-lanterns originate? Definitely not Duda. That is some real top drawer use of emoji, the Japanese art of picture writing. You girls, Sarah Kilch, we are carving tonight. Hopefully this will give you some nice ideas. 2 vegetables were used for jack-o'-lanterns before pumpkins. Name either of them. So this is prior to, this is when they were in the old country, the country referred to in question 1. They didn't used to use pumpkins. They used to use 2 other types of vegetables. Name either of them. Probably a little bit of guesswork going on here, but give it a shot. Maybe it'll come out on top. Pterodactyls are also carving tonight. Anna Karine, I bet you have a great carving. Definitely not Duda. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of fantastic carvings. And what I would love as a little sidebar, we had a sidebar before about voting, a little sidebar, when you do your carving, take a little snap, email it to me. iamsmart@gmail.com. We can go through them on Sunday. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Any Halloween art you have, and jack-o'-lanterns are nothing if not art, email it to me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. You're a creative bunch. You're going to come up with some wonderful things. Question number 3. Which US state produces 95% of the country's pumpkins? Most pumpkins in the world, as is often the case, come from China, I believe. Did I read that? I think I read that, but don't quote me on it. But within the United States, 95% of the country's pumpkins come from just one state. I want to know which one it is. That's what I want to know. Question number 4. The earliest written use of the word pumpkin is in which fairy tale? Sure, this is getting slightly less about jack-o'-lanterns and more about pumpkins, but the first 2 questions weren't about pumpkins, so I couldn't just say it was all about pumpkins, could I? It's difficult coming up with these quizzes, guys. Just take it easy on your old pal, not me, yeah? Earliest written use of the word pumpkin, which fairy tale? Question number 5, the final question of this entire quiz. Pumpkin spice does not generally contain pumpkin. Instead, it is generally a combination of 3 wintry spices. Name any 2 of them. 3 wintry spices generally make up pumpkin spice. I just need 2 of them, guys. I just need 2 of them. That's all the questions. We've got one more musing. Imagine a practical, non-culinary use for a pumpkin. Jack-o'-lanterns are decorative. purely decorative, and a joyous for that. But if I give you a pumpkin and I say, hey, find some kind of practical use for this that isn't just eating it, what are you coming up with? How are you using your pumpkin in an imaginative, practical way? It's all about engaging that imaginosphere. Killer Kilch, this has been an impressive Halloween-themed quiz. I am Notme, iamsmart. Oh, thanks, Killer. Thank you. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's really lovely. And that is the quiz, guys. That is the quiz, which means that you survived it. You survived all of the questions. You absolutely nailed it. I'm proud of each and every one of you, regardless of what you got. You got through the questions. And the ones that you got right, you know. And the ones that you didn't get right, you're going to learn. So it's all good. Well done. Let's celebrate.
I asked you some questions, but now the question part is done. Now let's hear some answers and find out who has won, which is everybody.
So, what was that in the background of the jingle there? I mean, there was a lot of things. It was a very spooky scene. But it was a full moon. There's a big full moon in the back there. Here's your free fact this week all about full moons. During full moons, more babies are born and more people break the laws. That's absolutely true. We don't necessarily know why, but we know that it does happen. Now, what I am wondering is whether there's a connection there. What I'm wondering is whether we should, as a society, trust full moon babies a little less than we do. I'm not the one for profiling, but I'm just going to think, if we just, someone's like, oh, I was born on a full moon, just keep an eye on them, guys. For God's sake, don't let them out of your sight, especially around valuables. You want some, I don't know. Do we want some answers? Yeah, we want some answers. Come on, Notme, give me some answers. Ooh, yay or nay? Yay or nay? The musing for this round was, of course, what irrational fear of yours would make a terrible horror story. Do you know what? Get them in the chat. Get them in the chat. Whatever you answered for that, get it in the chat. We're going to discuss them. We're going to learn. It's going to be great. There we go. That's a better height. Question number 1 was the indelible, iconic, terrifying score to the movie Halloween was composed by the film's own director. Yay or nay? The answer is yay. John Carpenter has written the scores to most of his films. Very talented dude. And now in his 60s or 70s is now for the first time going touring as a musician. What a wonderful story. Blah 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 blah. All of that, John Carpenter. Hats off to you, pal. Master of horror. Question number 2. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Count is ultimately slain by Abraham. That is Abraham. Possibly Jewish. Van Helsing. Yay or nay? Nay. Come on, guys. He's slain by Jonathan Harker and Quincy Morris. Never even heard of Quincy Morris, have you? Yeah. Didn't have as good PR department as Van Helsing. Also, Van Helsing is just the name. It's a cool sounding name. It's a cool sounding name. Question number 3. The painting The Nightmare by Henry Fuseli depicts a demon sitting on a woman's head. Yay or nay? Nay. Sits on her chest. Sits on her chest. And kind of looks at the camera, so to speak. Quite chilling. Question 4. American Horror Story was created by the same 2 people who created the musical television show Glee. If you can believe it, yay. Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk created them both. Varied guys. They've got varied interests. But love teens. Love teens. Love people killing it, whether that's actual or just singing a song really well. And the first horror film to be nominated for Best Picture was The Wicker Man in 1973. Yay or nay? Nay. It was The Exorcist in the same year. 1973 was the correct year, but it was The Exorcist and not The Wicker Man. Well done if you got any of those right. They're pretty tricky. although they were 50-50. The musing. What irrational fear of yours would make a terrible horror story? Let's discuss them. Anna Ryan, endless phone calls from unknown numbers. Ooh. I mean, that's pretty... I'm getting some kind of fear out of that. So that's, it would be difficult to make it a real one, especially if you didn't pick up. That would kill a lot of the drama. But still, it's unnerving. You think, who's got my phone number? Where is my phone number? On a register of some kind? TB Douglas, pubes in the bathroom. A fear of them seems excessive. Without wishing to impugn your fear, seems excessive. A disliking of them. Nobody likes pubes in the bathroom, but a fear of them would make it a difficult horror story. It's just a word that sounds funny in the mouth. Pubes in the bathroom. Great choice, TB. Killer Kilch, muddy shoes. Yeah, that would be difficult to make into a horror film. Muddy shoes, especially with some kind of white carpet. That's just unpleasant. Watching somebody walk toward a white carpet with some very muddy shoes. The tension's up already, isn't it? The tension's up. I'd feel that. But then, what's Act 3? You girls are Kilt's resort swimming pools. Again, kind of going back to TB Douglas's pubes in the bathroom, pubes in the swimming pools as well, which are often in resort swimming pools. Sticking plasters or band-aids, as the Americans would refer to them as. Pretty gross. I can get that. But again, inert. Very inert. If you stay out of the pool's not going to get you, baby. Pool's not going to get you. Nana Hobber, whales becoming fed up with humans and using their superior intellect to take over the world. Is that true? Are whales cleverness? Clever whales? Clever whales taken over? Just that notion has kind of creeped me out. Kind of fed up with humans using their spirit to take over the world. Again, you think they're only in the water, so if we're out of the water... But then if they're so intelligent, maybe they're finding a way to create exoskeletons for themselves. Take over. I don't know, that's pretty tricky. Re-breaking my ankle just going for a walk, definitely not Duda. How is the ankle? Definitely. How is it? Because, we're all there. We're all there. That's... fear of spraining the ankle, pterodactyl. Everybody's afraid of that. That's not a nice thing. Just the idea of breaking an ankle, period, is not pretty. Is doing well. That's good. Just don't push it. Yeah, don't push it. Stay off the skateboard, okay? For the sake of us all. But those are some great / terrible suggestions, which means, do you know what? Everybody gets a point. Well done. Everybody gets a point for that. That was wonderful. Halloween. We're on to round 2. The musing for round 2 is, of course, if money and time are no object, what would you dress up as for Halloween? Get it in the chat. Maybe we should have a jingle for that. That'd be good. Get it in the chat. But do get it, question number 1, or picture number 1, was this. And this young lady was supposed to be this chap. Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series of films. I found this one interesting because Leatherface and the costume of it has nothing to do with the face. I thought that was an interesting choice that they made. Also, he's not in bare legs or high heels, and that's going to be a recurring theme that we're going to sense throughout. But that was Leatherface. Congratulations if you got that one right. Number 2, this young lady, she's cut up her jumper. And she's got some blades on her hands. She's got a hat. She's got some blades as a sort of makeshift brassiere. She is, of course, we all know this one, Freddy Krueger. Again, nothing on the face. I would say that the kind of Bernie skin It's a pretty key part of the costume, but that's why I'm not in costume manufacture, guys. I don't know the kind of ins and outs of it. So yeah, and she's cut up the jumper as well, which again seems a key part of the costume. But yeah, what do I know? What do I know? I mean, lots, but this one could be pretty tricky. Got those wonderful boots. Not worrying about puddles. This one. She is dressed as Frankenstein's monster, and if any of you have written Frankenstein, you're not getting the point for that, guys. You're not getting the point for that. Frankenstein's monster, okay? Now she has gone as Frankenstein's monster essentially naked. I, for one, am glad that he's wearing this jacket. I'm not sure he would be quite as shapely as this young lady. The boots are built up, though, so that was, in the end, a bit of a clue. Number 4 is this young lady dressed as, she's got the kind of stripy top, kind of dungaree style thing, and the red hair and the knife. She is, of course, Chucky from Child's Play, the Child's Play series of films. Again, we can't see it below here. Can't see the bottom of it. He is not wearing high-heeled shoes. And that is, again, a stylistic choice that the costume manufacturers decided to make. And then the final one. This is the trickiest one. Because again, key part of this character, mask. It is Michael Myers, not Mike Myers, Michael Myers from the Halloween series of films. Again, I think they've missed some key parts of this, but it's up to them. And what you might not be able to see, if depending on how big the screen is that you're watching this on, but there is, it just does say Halloween on the thing, just so you, everybody knows. I'm Michael Myers. Oh, didn't you not want to go for the mask? No, just the boiler suit. That's the key part of the costume, and the knife. Musing. So congratulations if you got any or all of them. Some of them are pretty tricky. If money and time are no object, what would you dress up as Halloween? Let's do this. Yugal Sarah Kilch, a functioning Venus flytrap. That'd be wonderful. Oh, terrific. And would, you know, if you did have a very svelte figure and a large head, would show that off pretty well as well. Functioning, though. Just hungry. That could be the thing. If you're just a functioning Venus flytrap, just eating, and people might be able to throw various candies in there. Have some M&Ms. Venus flytrap. It's functional. Killer Kilch, Cinderella as a vampire. No one ever checked what she did at night. That's a wonderful what if, Killer. It's a wonderful what if. A vampirella, or Cindire. Vampirella's better. You get more of the gist of that. No one ever checked what she did at night. And she would have the glass slippers. Although would she then just have like an army of rats and stuff? Would she be transformed into? Gosh, there's a lot of questions with this one, but I'm enjoying asking them of myself. So thanks, Killer. Definitely not do the Corpse Bride. Yeah. With all of the stitching, much like the young lady's outfit here. Lots of stitching, lots of and around the thing. Yep, absolutely. That's a great shout, definitely. Nana Hobob, Jareth, David Bowie in Labyrinth, absolutely. Having the money to get a wonderful wig, wonderful billowy shirt, real good quality codpiece. That's a great shout. Pterodactyl, my mom in the 90s. Wow, that's an interesting choice. I don't know how your mum dressed in the 90s, whether it would be a particularly expensive and or time-consuming costume to create, but a nice tribute. I'm sure your mom would love to hear you say that, yeah? Unless that is implying that she was particularly terrifying in the 90s, in which case... T.B. Douglas, Queen of Hearts, that'd be great. Big collar, lots of shouting, ideally with some playing card henchmen as well, depending on, whether you could rustle up any. I mean, money's no object. Hire some people. God, there's a lot of actors out there really struggling at the moment. So give them a job, guys. Give them a job. Pterodactyl, or in the 70s, she looked great but got rid of all her dresses. So it's largely just wanting the dress. I get that. That's fine. That's fine. Some of those 70s dresses really, although again, naked flames, be careful around them. A lot of polyester in that era. Could go up like a ribbon of magnesium. Anna Karenina beheaded Marie Antoinette. Absolutely. That'd be great. And then it's also make it some kind of pun of like, let them eat cake, but I can't eat cake because I don't have a head anymore. Something in that kind of region, but that's good. Although, if you're beheaded, do you miss out on the wig? Because I feel like the Marie Antoinette and all of that era, just some of the finest wig work in history, and missing out on that without having a head. I don't know. You got to make some tough decisions, I guess. At Halloween, you got to make some tough decisions. These are all bonkers. Absolutely, Vampirella would be a great name for a metal band. Absolutely, definitely. Call it. My metal band. In the future, Vampirella. And we're all going to dress in glass slippers and fangs, lots of mice, pumpkins, and then a trio of squat, portly, motherly types in fancy dresses sitting in the back to represent the fairy, the witch, the fairy. I don't know what they call. You know what I mean. We are Vampirella! I'd go and see that. With some earplugs, though. I mean, come on, guys. Look close. Points all round for those. Points all round. That's wonderful. Look close. What's the best store-bought costume you've ever purchased? So we've gone from, ideal costumes to actual costumes here. Again, it's a heavily costume-based costumes and horror stories. It's about Halloween, guys. It's, there's only one. Best store-bought costume you've ever purchased. Get it in the chat. That could be the first song for Vampirella. We are Vampirella. This is Get It in the Chat. You've answered the question. Get it in the chat. What is in Notme's mouth in his costume from 2016? The answer is, of course, a banana. The reason for having a banana in my mouth at that point escapes me. In this day and age, but it was there and it was there for a reason, and I'm proud of it. Question number 2, what does Notme make mention of subverting in the video? This is the easy one, guys. I'm always subverting expectations. Take those expectations, turn them upside down, subvert them. Question number 3, name either of the Renaissance men that Notme cites. It was, of course, Leonardo da Vinci and Jamie Cullum. A lot of you possibly, I don't know whether Jamie Cullum made it over here. He's a pianist, an English pianist, very, very short fellow, really, really small, hobbit-like, but really could tickle those ivories. Just a terrific chap. But either of those get you the point, so well done. Question number 4. What type of hat did Notme's intended costume come with? Renaissance man came with a beret. A Venetian beret, I'd assume, but a beret nonetheless. Well done if you got that one right. That was quick. That was a quick one to pay attention to. And then a final question. Notme claims to not see 3 concepts. Name any 2 of them. Any 2 of these will get you the point. Gender, race, sexuality. I will accept if you just wrote it sexuality, because from consulting the Oxford English Dictionary, sexuality, not actually a word, but you get what I mean. Best store-bought costume you've ever purchased. Let's hope these are, as, to use Definitely's word, as bonkers as your dream costumes. Nana Hobbob gorilla suit. That's great, because what you get with the gorilla suit and any big fuzzy thing is you get that element of, I mean, come on, guys, this is the end of October. Warmth, hello, that you weren't getting in a lot of those young lady costumes. A lot of bare legs and a lot of plunging necklines. They're going to be running a high-grade fever the following day. You get the warmth and you get the comfort. I'm just sitting, it's essentially pajamas. I'm just sitting here in my pajamas. That's a great shout, Nana Hobub. That's a wonderful suggestion. A wonderful choice from you. Pterodactyl, pink Power Ranger. Wonderful. Again, it's slightly more form-fitting than the Grillet, but again, you get the warmth. It's all covered up. No flesh exposed to the goose pimple inducing nights of October, moving into November, and people can tell you're a girl because it's pink and she's got a little skirt. Your girl Sarah Kilch, poodle skirt, like a skirt made out of a poodle. I mean, that's pretty macabre, but then you did advocate for murdering zoo animals for fun before, so that is on brand for you. But great shout. Killer Kilch, about to receive it, a running ostrich. If that is... You're getting me excited now, Killer Kilch. If that is a costume where your legs take the place of the ostrich's legs, and then you have a small pair of fake legs coming out the front, then that is one of the highest echelons of store-bought Halloween costumes. Absolutely terrific, as could be seen in the UK version of The Office, one by Ricky Gervais. What excites me the most is when somebody runs really fast and the legs are bouncing, bending backwards and all of that. The smaller those legs can be, the better it is for me. For me personally, it's a personal choice, but that's a great shout. Definitely not Duda. Edward Scissorhands hands. That's good. Edward Scissorhands hands. Although then you're asking other people to kind of feed you and drink and feed you and drink you, feed you and. Is there a word for that? I'm really struggling. If someone gives you food, they're feeding you. If they give you a drink, they're thirsting you? I don't know. But that Edward Scissorhands hands, that's fantastic. And especially if you combine that with a different Edward. Maybe your Edward Cullen from the Twilight films. Maybe you are noted English character actor Edward Woodward, who I believe was in The Wicker Man. Quenching you. We're going to go with that, not Nana Hobbob. You're asking for other people because you can't pick them up yourself with the scissors, is what I was going for. So other people have to feed and quench you. Anna Karine, Padme Amidala. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that is absolutely fantastic. Points all round. Terrific stuff. And well done. A little shout out to the costume manufacturers of the world. Star Wars princess. I get it. With the buns. That's wonderful. Lots of science fiction. Wonderful fodder for costumes, because they really go all in, don't they? Really go all in, those chaps. But yes, well done for all the costume manufacturers in the world. We kind of questioned you in the Halloween round, but now in this round, you've reminded us why you are so powerful. The musing. You win a contest to tell Stephen King to write a scary story about anything. What do you tell him to write about? Get it in the chat. Question number 1. Stephen King sets many of his stories in his home state. Which is it? Puerto Rico? Guam? American Samoa? No, it is Maine. For he is Caucasian. So it is Maine. Question number 2. Within 10, how many novels has Stephen King published? Novels, not short story collections, not novellas. 61. So anything from 56 to 66, you're getting a point there, baby, and well done, because that's a tricky one. So well done if you got that one right. Question number 3. Which one of these simplistic descriptions fits none of Stephen King's novels? Scary dog, scary car, scary TV. It is, of course, scary TV, I believe, unless somebody comes through with a thing and the in the chat that says actually no, it was a thing. Scary dog, Cujo, scary car, Christine, scary TV, none of the above. Question number 4. Stephen King has written 3 books that are over 1,000 pages long in their published forms. Name any one of them. Any one of these will get you the points. It, The Stand, or Under the Dome. And if you have read any of them, you get a swagger point. It's not an actual point, but well done you. Well done you for sticking with it. And question number 5, how much does it cost for a student filmmaker to buy the rights to a film, a non-commercial adaptation of one of Stephen King's short stories? I had to be careful with the wording here because he's quite particular about it. But if you are making a non-commercial adaptation, you are a student filmmaker, it'll cost you $1. And the resultant films become what are referred to as dollar babies. He calls these films dollar babies. So well done, Steve. Well done, Steve, for giving short filmmakers, a little bit of a boost up. What should we tell a story about? Stephen King's written loads of them. Let's just do one of those. Musing, you win a contest to sell. What are you telling them to write about? What have we got? Tell them to write about a Star Wars princess. No, that was from before. Killer Kilch, moving across the street. Yeah, that'd be pretty tricky. There's some kind of like community thing where your new place or your old place is like jealous of the new place, tries to draw you back, but you get the sense that it's evil or something. Yeah, that'd be tricky. I'd read that. Sarah Kilch, apartment property management, not to be confused with The Shining. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you are in charge of an apartment property, and there could be some spooky things going on with some of your tenants, and you have to deal with it, and you have to sometimes go into their apartment, and there are really like creepy things in there. That's good. Oh, Bob, the whale fear from the first musing. Recycling's important. I like it. You just, it would make a terrible story, but I want you to write it, Steve. I want you to write it. Haunted pair of shoes, definitely not Duda. Absolutely. That would be tricky for him. I mean, I've got confidence that he's got the chops to do it, but yeah, that'd be tricky. Especially if it's 2 of them. Maybe there's one good and one bad. Haunted pair of shoes, and they would just take you wherever they wanted you to go. Ooh. TB Douglas, Mondays. Just a 7th of your entire life. Write a story about it, Steve. I like that. I like that a lot. Definitely not do that. I said free. I was $1 off. Yeah. Here's the thing that might have helped you in this one. I don't ask trick questions. Okay. I mean, I guess technically how much would it cost you? It would cost you nothing. And that's kind of a trick question. I don't like trick questions, okay? So there's always going to be an answer to it that isn't just, oh, well, you don't go skiing. That's not fun. But close. Only $1 out. Let's look at it like that. Well done, guys. Those are great suggestions. Points all round. We're going to move on. Final round here. Nart. It was all about those jack-o'-lanterns. The musing. Imagine a practical, non-culinary use for a pumpkin. Get it in the chat. Get it in the chat right there. Question number 1. From which country do jack-o'-lanterns originate? And I was careful to write jack-o'-lanterns and not, as they are sometimes written, jack-o'-lanterns, because that would have given you the clue that the answer is the Republic of Ireland. It's from a folk tale about somebody called Stingy Jack, who sold his soul to the devil, and so they would leave out these little jack-o'-lanterns in order to ward people off. Say, hey, go away, evil spirits. And they used to do it using turnips and beetroots, so much smaller. And then the Irish emigrated to America to become policemen and Afflecks and Baldwins and Kennedys, I suppose. And they found pumpkins and they thought, this is brilliant. This is so much easier than the intricate carving of a turnip or a beetroot. But well done if you got either of those right. I think that's a pretty tricky question. Question number 3, which US state produces 95% of the country's pumpkins? The answer is, of course, Illinois. I don't know why that's so far down. Illinois. again, that's kind of, you're either going to know it or you're not. If anyone guessed that, hats off to you. Go buy the lottery ticket. The earliest written use of the word pumpkin is in which fairy tale? It's not Vampirella. It is just simply Cinderella. It's the depressingly vampire-free version of the Cinderella tale. Because, of course, that's what her carriage is made out of. Fairy godmothers. I think that's what they're called. And then question number 5, final question of the entire quiz this week. Pumpkin spice does not generally contain pumpkin. Instead, it is generally a combination of 3 wintry spices. Name any 2 of them. Nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves. Well done if you got those right. Those right. And the musing, let's go through these. These are wonderful. I'm sure they will be. Practical, non-culinary use for a pumpkin. Nana Hobbob, helmet, boom. Straight away, you've got exactly where I'm going with this. Pop that on, maybe cut it in half, just a helmet, maybe in that kind of East Asian way, where it keeps the sun off. Or unless you go helmet all the way round, like an old-timey deep-sea diver or a spaceman, astronaut rather. Yeah, I'm on board with it. Great. Killer Kelch, catboat. Catboat is great. Because then you pop the cat in there, the cat's safe, waterproof, maybe the top is cut out and then fashioned into some kind of oar for the cat, or maybe they just use their paws, or maybe they just, be paralyzed with fear, because it's pretty scary for the cat. They don't know what's going on. Your girl Sarah Kilch, bird cage. Yeah, and then I imagine, I don't know much about birds. It's one of my failures in life. But I would imagine they'd be able to eat that cage as well. Not the outer, that would probably be too tough for them. But if they're getting peckish, just have a little, much like IHOP, International House of Pancakes, or we all wish, of course. Anna Karina, fruit basket. Yes, the fruits and the vegetables all combining into a lovely thing. That's great. And a wonderful thing to receive. You receive a pumpkin, you're like, this is kind of weird. Open it up, fruit inside. This is nice. Great shout. Definitely not due to using the stem for a ring or bracelet holder. Yep. Pop that on the wall, this kind of horn thing. You'll say, God, what is that? And then you pop a bracelet on, they say, I know exactly what this is, definitely. You're a genius. Wonderful stuff. Pterodactyl, a trump head sculpture or doorstop. Or, considering the high esteem that a lot of people have for Mr. Donald Trump, who is very orange and kind of pumpkin-like in and of itself, maybe both. This is Trump's head. We just use it to block this door. Again, this is more political than I thought it was going to get tonight, talking about Halloween, but it's on people's minds. It's in the zeitgeist. Great shout, pterodactyl. T.B. Douglas, plant pot. Keeping it natural. And then what would be good is if you plant a pumpkin plant within the pumpkin head plant pot, and then it's just this constant loop. And then at some point, somehow, a pumpkin that you originally started with gets planted into another thing, and then it's just the circle of life. It's this Ouroboros kind of thing of the snake eating its own tail, but the pumpkin providing a planter for each, and then maybe, I don't know, but I think maybe that's when the pumpkins take over, much in the way of Nana Hobbob's mech suit wearing whales that we talked about earlier. Twice. And pterodactyl, a festive utensil holder in the kitchen. Absolutely. You could use it to store all the utensils you use for carving out a pumpkin. Once you've carved out the pumpkin, you think, God, where am I going to put these utensils? Just pop them right back in there, baby. Double use. Recycling. These are great choices. So points all round. Well done, guys. Well done. Which means, let's go back to Maine. Which means you've got all the points that you're going to get tonight, guys. And whilst you tot up your scores, I would just like to. Let's. Should we get some music? Let's get some music. Come on, Pretzel. Too loud? Is that too loud? Maybe. Pop it down there. While you tot up your scores, I want to remind you that in this quiz, aside from the yay or nay subject choice, which will be decided by whoever gets the high score this week for next week, you're only competing against yourself, guys. There's no point threshold to being smart. So if you have all of the questions right that you realistically could have been expected to get, you are smart. And I say well done you. Okay? You're competing against yourself, guys. Let's not get too down about our scores if we've done badly. If we've done great, don't get too big-headed about it either. Don't get a pumpkin head. How are we doing? That's meta. It's meta. It is meta. A lot of the stuff that I do is meta because it's, for me, easy to think about. Killer Kilch, 20. Well done. You girl Sarah Kilch, plus 20. Like in a role-playing game, 20 more than you would have got before. Nana Hobart, 24. Chapow, well done you. Annika Ryan, 17. Fantastic, well done you. Definitely not due to 25. Well done, definitely. That's the high point score so far. TB Douglas, 20. Excellent score, well done you. Pterodactyl, 19. Fantastic score for you as well. And your girl Sarah Kilch, just giving some shout-outs. And Nana Hobbam, definitely not Duda, which means, unless there's anyone else to give their answers, which I don't believe there is, definitely not Duda. Recovering from the ankle mutilation. You're the high points getter, so well done you. Which means that you get to choose what we do next week's yay or nay round on. An entire round dedicated to whatever you want. It could be an artist that you like. It could be a piece of art that you like. It could be something that you think shows up in lots of different types of art. I mean, it could be anything. We've had some real weird choices in the past, and I have heroically turned them into art. So it's literally whatever you want will be the title of next week's episode and the subject of the yay or nay round. Whilst you're thinking of that, this week, okay, let's come on, Harris. Let's pause that. This week, upcoming on Sunday, we have the Most Week show, which you should absolutely stop yourself to watch. Whilst one of the elements of this week's Spooktacular is going to be an Acolyte Poetry Corner that is all about spookiness and scariness. So let's just watch something now that is going to inspire us to get involved with that. Yeah.
Whatever your phobia, whether serious or silly, write it in a poem, send it in to me, we'll read them all together and get this wonderful sense of catharsis. It's going to be fantastic, all of you. Accept people suffering from metrophobia, fear of poetry, move on, give it a miss, it's going to be more trouble than it's worth.
Real thing, metrophobia, fear of poems. Definitely Not Duda has selected movies from the 1980s. 80s movies. The golden age, in my opinion, of movies. So absolutely fantastic choice. Next week we'll have a yay or nay round that is all about movies from the 1980s. So make sure that you are joining me for that. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining me. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this spooky. Yeah, spooky. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a little something. And I hope you felt creative all at the same time. That's what I hope. I am not me. I am Art. And I hope that you'll join me next week. Same time, same place. Because I think Tuesdays seem to work out pretty well for everyone. Yeah, good. Yeah, nice. For another opportunity to say to yourself, yes, I am smart. Goodbye, Smarties, and I'll see you next time.
So there we go, and well done you, whatever your score might be. I definitely think that you are smart, though Rob's not as smart as me. Your art will be better, trust me on this, should be nothing short of sublime. That's why you learn, and don't stop now, I'll see you right here next time. I am smart,